I discovered the Carmelites about 10 years ago when I was considering a religious vocation, and I thought of joining the Franciscans, but I also thought at the same time I just won't limit it to the Franciscans. I would also check on what other orders are out there in Australia. So I actually went to the Australian Catholic Directory for the Catholic Church, and I saw this term Discalced Carmelites, which I'd never heard of before. So I decided I would write a letter to these men. I quickly got back in the mail a little brown book explaining a bit of the history and the charism of the Carmelites, a little bit on St. Teresa and St. John of the Cross. That sparked my interest enough for me to want to come down and visit, which I did. I drove down from Queensland and I stayed with the men for 3 weeks. I experienced Carmelite life in that capacity. The community, the sharing, the liturgy, the office. And it really sparked something within me that I wanted to examine more. I wanted to further this quest that I had started, and I felt like this was the place where I could now journey as a religious, if that was my calling. So I asked to join, which I did. People often ask me, why did I become a Carmelite? I guess I would have to say I was initially drawn to the Carmelite order because it is an order that has prayer as one of its foundations, one of its pillars, the others being community life and of course apostolic work. The prayer life has always been important to me ever since I was young. It's something that I've always had. Ever since I was a child, I felt the need to pray and in a way to have that communion with God in quiet, silent prayer. So it was very important then, if I was going to have a vocation as a religious, that one of the main elements of that life was going to be prayer. And when I visited Varroville 9 years ago now, it's one of the things I saw the friars doing in the chapel daily, which really appealed to me. Now, as my life as a Carmelite, and of course the prayer is still once again a very important element of that. But I also realise the religious life and anyone's life is a journey with Christ, and St. Teresa is very big on this, that we walk with a friend, and that friend is Jesus. And I realise I do that every day now. Hopefully I do that every day. I try to. He's a friend who is always there. He's there in all the ups and downs of life and community life, in every aspect of our life. He's always inviting us further on that journey, and we've got to find it within our hearts to be generous enough to respond as he wants us to respond, and to grow into the people that he wants us to become and wants me to become as a person, with all the challenges that involves, but also the good times, the fraternal life, with brothers. So I realise it's a life where we grow into the people God calls us to be, and that's something that I realise now is very important to me. I think I see one of the main works that a Carmelite friar does now is we're people who are called to journey with Christ and experience his love, and now we're called to share that experience of love with others, letting them also know that Jesus is journeying with them. And in a way, through the work we do, the apostolic work, maybe in parishes, in the retreat centre here as spiritual directors or as people who give retreats, we are also Christ to those people. We give them some experience or some knowledge of Christ's love for them, and how he also wants them to walk with him in a very real way, a very intimate way, to develop a prayer life, but to develop a life in Christ, and in a way to be a light shining for the world in that way, another Christ for others as well. I feel that's what we do, and we hopefully empower others to do that also. Those people who encounter us and get to know the Carmelite charism. At this stage of my life as a Carmelite friar, I realise it's important for me to journey with other people, to meet them where they are in their lives, in their struggles and their joys. And I've realised through pastoral work, while I may be a sign of encouragement to them, they're also giving me life by their sharing with me. And I find that very enriching. I am a religious, but I'm also very much part of the world, part of the people of the world, and I'm journeying with them and they with me. And sometimes on that journey there are those who are just a bit further up the road on that journey, and maybe that's a Carmelite at some stage who is showing the others what's ahead, or maybe it's somebody else who's showing me what's ahead and helping me to go on in my journey and inspiring me and giving me that strength. I'm about to be ordained a priest in the order in next month, after a long period of what seems to be study and of course a long period in formation. So it's nice to have that all come to a culmination, and I hope that I can play an important part in other people's journeys, but I'm sure they're also playing an important and crucial part in my life as I walk this journey. So we're all in this together, all in faith, in communion. Thank you.